begin, how to start.
Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, it would be much appreciated. Thank you. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is 5 of my motivational tips to keep me going. They might not keep you going, but we all have ways of keeping ourselves motivated. So the first thing I do before every session, if you like, I make myself comfortable. I get in my chair, I make sure everything around me is everything I need and not that I want. I shut the door. I try to hope for a bit of quiet outside. I make sure the lighting is right and not too much of a strain. Obviously it's light now because I'm doing this video recording, but normally I wouldn't have all these lights on. I'd have the blinds up on my windows, and I'd have the monitor screens as they are. They're not too bright because that can be a bit of an eye strain and really sort of gets me after a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit darker. Well, it's a lot darker actually, but I don't mind that. So I have a bit of light coming from the loft light there, and like I say, the windows will brighten things up.
Come here, look at this. A finch? A lark?
I think it's a sparrow, Andy.
Isn't it perfect, Elizabeth? A bird's nest right outside my writing window?
Andy, I don't think I've ever seen you this happy before.
I give myself a certain amount of time each day. Not every day, you know, but most days, and if something comes along, it comes along. But if I can sort of dedicate or say, this is my hours, these are my hours, it's going to be 2 hours in the morning, or it's going to be an hour before tea, or an hour before other work, then great, you know, I'll try to stick to that. But if something comes up, not a problem. There's a lot of people, and especially a lot of subscribers to my channel here, who are looking for a second income, you know, are looking for ways to pay the bills through writing low content books and children's books or activity books or any kind of thing they can, and they don't actually write. And I appreciate that, you know, so, but it's still the same. It's still the same that you dedicate some hours to doing that, and it's important that you do. You know, money's not just going to come to you. You've got to take it. You've got to get the hold of that money yourself. You've got to do whatever you can to get that money. And if it means dedicating an hour or 2 hours a day to do your writing or your low content or your activity books and things like that, then you know you're going to have to find that time. You could sit and watch a movie at night for an hour and a half or 2 hours. Without those 2 hours, you know, if night time's the only time you have, those 2 hours you could dedicate to your writing. I know you've still got to have some sort of social life, and that's why I don't write on the weekend. You know, and if I can help it, I don't write at night. But I'm quite fortunate that I can not write at night, if you like. So yeah, dedicating some time is super important, and sticking to it and turning everything off, the news, the music, everything, and just concentrate on your writing. And inspiration will come to you. You know, you'll find things, you'll think about things. Whereas when there's a lot of clutter, a lot of noise, things going on, you'll struggle to find the inspiration you're looking for, and the motivation, because it's easy to get distracted. It really is. I'm forever thinking, while I'm writing, I'm thinking about doing another video for this, say, for instance, or making some low content books in some way, some children's book maybe. So it pulls me away. Or I'm writing and I'm thinking, I could use that in something else. So it's very hard to stay focused. I appreciate that. But you've got to try. You've got to really give it your best shot, and you'll be rewarded for it. You really will.
What the hell am I doing?
Number 3, don't stress over the first sentence, the opening line, if you like. You might not be able, you could sit there all day thinking, well, if the sun was nice, the sun was shining, the sun was hot, it was this, it was that, for your opening line. But, you're really wasting your time. You're wasting your time when it should be spent writing the book. Write the book, and during your writing, you'll come up with something, no doubt about it. Throughout your book, you'll have an idea what your book's about, obviously, when you're writing it. And that's why I also say stick to what you know. It's important. It's important that you do that. A lot of writers will stick to their genre, and going from one to another, like if you're a fiction writer, say you're doing romance novels, then going straight, and that's all you've ever done, going straight over to write a sci-fi book, for instance, it's not going to be easy. It's you might not even be able to do it because you've spent so long doing your romance books, and that's what you know. And sci-fi, say, may not be something you have an interest in. And if you're not got an interest in it, you're not really going to get the best from it. And it'll generally be a flop, no doubt. So stick to what you know if you can.
The biggest single influence on my creative process. Yeah? My process? I'll tell you my process. Right. Okay, this is it. Probably the biggest single influence on my creative process was something my old English teacher said to me when I was about 13 or 14. He just said, write about what you know. It sort of taught me that being honest is what counts. Trying to make the ordinary extraordinary is so much better than starting with the extraordinary. Whereas if something is real for one person, it's touched their life, and I think as a creator and a director, it's your job to make an audience as excited and fascinated about a subject as you are.
Like I say, you could come up with your first line later in the book, and you'll be surprised, what something will catch you, and you go, gosh, that'll make a great first line. That'll make a great intro, a great hook, if you like. Now, for one of my books a few years ago, my opening line was built like a brick shithouse. Now, it was a bit of a biography as well. So, but it was easy. Once I saw that, once I actually wrote that, or came up with that in my head as I was writing a paragraph, I thought, that's a great opener. That's a great opener. It's totally different. Maybe that'll catch get some interest. People will want to read on. And that's how I try to start all of my chapters with a bit of a hook. And at the end of every chapter, I try to make people want to read the next chapter, like a television series does. It'll end with you wanting to know what happens next, so you'll watch the next episode in the series. Keeping moving is important. When I'm at the computer all day long, or for hours on end, my legs get a bit stiff, the circulation, I can feel issues developing, if you like. So what I try to do is I try to do a bit of exercise. If I'm at the computer for 8 hours during the day, and that's say Monday to Wednesday, for example, I'll make sure I take a trip to the gym for an hour during that time, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever, and I'll work out and I'll sort of de-stress at the same time. But my circulation is going again, and I'll probably think of other things as well to do with what I'm writing while I'm at the gym working out, because I work out on my own. So, you know, and I don't listen to music other than what's in the background. I don't have headphones on. So, yeah, I do that. I also, on days where I can't make it to the gym, I'll stretch my legs, I'll walk around the garden, walk around the block, go for a walk, whatever. Do a few stretching exercises, which I don't like, you know, I get bored and things like that. So I prefer to be moving than anything. I'm also fortunate enough to have one of these tables. I'll stand up, I won't often lean like this. I'll have the keyboard and the mouse so that I can continue to work. But it's just good to stretch my legs and change my leg position every now and then. So yeah, I recommend doing something, you know, if you're restricted physically, maybe even mentally, from being able to do anything physical or any kind of exercise, then all I could suggest is you move some limbs at least. You know, try to move something, get some blood circulating somehow, because it's important. Otherwise, you're just going to lock up and you're going to end up with all kinds of vein thrombosis and God knows what else by sitting in the same position all the time. Even on airplanes, they give you a pair of socks, don't they?
So we go 1, 2. That's it. That's it. Move. That's it. Move your hip. Come on. With your arms now. That's it. That's it. Come on. We start that way. That's it. That's it. Twist the body with it.
And 5, just keep at it. Keep putting words down. Just keep typing away. Don't share your work, is my advice. Don't share your work with anyone until you've finished it, because you're putting yourself out for some setbacks. If you're sharing the first chapter and you've not finished the book, and you're getting loads of negative feedback, it'll put you off. It'll put you off the whole story, and you've got it in your head, and you'll start wanting to change things about it to make it more interesting for the certain people that you've chosen to read your manuscript. And you know, they may be, it just might happen that they may be the ones that probably wouldn't buy your book anyway, or probably might not even like it if you finished it. So they might not be your target. So complete the book before you get anybody checking it, reading it. So just get at it, just go at it, just keep writing, typing, finish it. Go over your errors and your grammar and everything else afterwards. Get everything down. That's my advice. And so there are 5 of my sort of motivational tips, if you like, my tips on how I work, how I keep being able to work. And you'll no doubt have some yourself. I'd love to hear them in the comments. So if you've got any advice for anybody else, yeah, put your motivational tips in the comments. It'd be great to have a big list of ideas. And that's it.